What's going on, guys?
Yeah, it was me. All right. So wait, you're doing horizontal. Wait, how can I get mine? Hold on, I gotta flip my camera around.
Okay.
Wait, how did you? Oh, well, are you doing it on your phone or or something else?
I'm actually doing it on my phone tonight.
Damn it. Hold on, I'm messing around with the camera here. Front facing 3. No. I had the same problem last time with this stupid stuff. All right, wait a minute. Now the only problem is if I do that, I can't see you.
Don't you just love modern technology?
I know. It's like, this should be really easy. But every time it's, oh, wait, hold on. What if I do mirror? There we go. Wait, but am I like letterboxed on your side?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I am. Why am I not full on? Oh, wonder if it's this.
There you go.
There we go. I was gonna say I didn't have my phone set to flip. That's why. All right, hold on. Now I gotta readjust everything. Perfect. Oh, that's so much better.
So I see you got your passenger cars all set up.
Yeah, I went through. I pulled everything out. It's funny. I had over the last couple of days, I had like rotated things around and didn't have anything out anymore. I think I had one of the stock cars sitting on the track still, but everything else had gotten rotated off. Trying to look how to throw my phone in full screen. Oh well, I'll figure that out another day. It's got to be a way to do that anyway. How's it going on your end?
Pretty good. Oops.
I'm just gonna try to.
What's going on, Jeremy?
All right, there we go.
See, we also got somebody from California here. Just jumped in.
Hello. Hello. There you go. Nice.
Okay.
Too many hobbies, Jeremy. There you go. So Jeremy, I was just talking about that this this week. I put out a video on Monday. From one of my other hobbies. I was like, too many hobbies these days.
That was a really good video, by the way.
Yeah, I just was like, it's not a train, but I feel like I need to share this because it's kind of cool. It's something I literally have been after since I was probably, I don't know. I looked it up. What was the catalog? 1984. So I would have been 10 or 12 years old, somewhere in that range. 84 to 86 is when I think it came out. So
it's not bad.
Only took me 40 years to get there. All right,
Sure,
Wisconsin. All right.
Sure, it's a long time.
Yeah. All right, crack this open. Thought there was like 4 or 5 waiting when I looked before. It says we got 11 on, but does that say 11? I can't read it from here.
So far, we got 11 people joining us. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's see. Everybody else chime in. Where are you guys joining us from?
So I see we got a comment from Wisconsin. We got another from California. Just tuning in, fellas. How's it going?
Yeah. So, all right. Wait. There's a couple comments here. So, MTH EP5 Proto 1 engine. Nice. I don't know. Mine's on my EP5's up there on the wall. Yeah, these metal posters, it's funny. I got them in Cape May, New Jersey. I was down there. My wife and I go to Cape May every year for our anniversary. In fact, coming up soon. And there's a shop there that sells a bunch of stuff like this, just a bunch of different signs, and I found them. So I had to pick them up, and they were cheap. They were like $8 each. It was a great deal.
Boy.
Pittsburgh, PA. There you go. Nice.
So if you guys are if you guys are ever wondering why I'm talking to myself off the screen here, it's because I got my dog Ozzy up here with me, and he's being pretty good like he always is, but he has like a habit of chewing on his foot once in a while.
Nice.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think
Good boy.
I don't know where she is, but I think one or both of my new cats she made a quick pop in on that RC car video earlier this week. They're around, so I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to take over the layout at some point. I am fairly certain that one of the cats ate. So you can't see it, but one of my kids have HO layouts on the floor, and we think one of the cats actually ate one of the little HO people.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I'm not digging through the poop for that. When it comes out, it comes out. We'll go buy more people.
Those little miniature people are in it for a really big Catmandu surprise.
Nice. Nice.
So I know it's been a couple of weeks since York was a thing, but what did you think of the show so far?
Of York, you mean? Yeah. So it's funny you say that, because I was thinking about that a little bit today, honestly, and I had a great time. Like, I did a couple of recap videos afterwards, and I saw I saw Ray from Ray Streams, Dell Hudson was there, Corey. I mean, and everybody you could imagine was there, and I got to catch up with a lot of people. It was really great. But picked up a bunch of crap. We're going to go through all that. Picked up a lot of stuff, probably overbought.
Indeed.
Stayed under budget, which was great. I'm very happy with that. But the one thing I would say is, I think I want to spend, next time I go back, which I'm hoping to go back again in April, is spend more time in the other halls outside of the Orange Hall. I covered the Orange Hall like back and forth, a dozen times, and got everything I was looking for, and went back and got a couple of things. But it wasn't about just buying things. I just feel like there were some opportunities I probably missed in the other halls to get some used items that were, that I want to get, that I think could, I can say, it sounds silly, but save money on. For example, I need switch tracks. I want to pick up some fast track switch tracks. And I'm like, I missed an opportunity at York to explore those halls and potentially find some switch tracks for sale. Right. I know it sounds like not a major item, and probably not a lot of people are selling them, but they're $110 a pop if you buy them brand new. If I can find them used for $50, $75, I can save some money there, right? That's the one big thing. My one big takeaway is I do want to spend more time in the other halls, but it was awesome. It was as overwhelming as I expected it to be, but I had a great time.
Nice. Now the only complaint that I had with the show for this year, and this isn't like an insult or anything, but I feel like that the show this time around was kind of lacking when it came to a lot of the display layouts that they have this year versus last year. Because so far they only had like 2 display layouts. Both were O-gauge, which I had nothing against. But this year they were missing the American Flyer S-gauge layout that they had from last year. And they also had another big O-gauge layout, which they usually usually they would have like 4 layouts in the Purple Hall. I believe that's where they usually keep a lot of the main layouts that they have. But so far this year they only had 2. Last year they had 4. And the other O-gauge layout that they normally have at the York, train meets, they weren't really present this year.
Yeah, it's we got a couple other people who joined in. GGS Railways, David Stevens. Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, Dave?
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, because I didn't even make it to the Purple Hall. That was one hall I completely skipped and never made it to. And it was interesting watching some of Dakman, right? He had his videos where he goes through all the halls and everything. And I didn't realize there were some vendors who were in the Purple Hall, right? Am I wrong? Or were there a couple of vendors there? I thought.
Well, there were some vendors, but there wasn't really anything too eye-catching.
There was somebody who was selling a lot of Menards buildings. And I wish I had gone to check out some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I had anything in mind on my list that I wanted to buy, but definitely would have been interesting to check some of it out. All right, so somebody's asking the question. Let's see, where did I just read it? Too many hobbies, Jeremy.
Here we go.
What speciality do the other halls have? So, hold on, I completely screwed up my tablet here. I'm trying to get to everything. I did. So the different halls had different things, but the orange hall was mostly dealers, and then most of the other halls were used. But depending on like what you were looking for, there were people who had different opinions about like which hall to go into. And I'm just looking back because I had some like I had something that talked about what were the different halls. Where the heck is it?
And with the Orange Hall, you mostly get a lot of the bigger manufacturers hanging out in that location, such as Mr. Muffin's Trains,
Yep.
Trains.com, Classic Toy Trains, Train World, Seaside Hobbies. You know, a lot of the big vendors that are really recognizable in the hobby today.
Yeah. So the member halls were red, blue, silver, and white, and the dealer halls were orange and purple.
Yes.
So the member halls, you had to first of all be a member of the TCA in order to get into. So they were not open to the public, and like, there was everything from modern to post-war to pre-war. Lots and lots of dealers who had unique stuff. Like there was one guy, and I can't remember what hall it was. But I remember walking through because I was with Dell at the time, and he was looking for something specific, and this guy had it, and it was like a gorgeous tin plate set that he like, and like all his stuff was in mint condition. He had all tin plate stuff, and then there's other halls where there were like, just tons of, MTH passenger cars or whatever, right? Like there were, lots of guys. There was the Transformer guy who had all the different rebuilt Transformers, post-war Transformers in Silver Hall, I think he was in. Because I bought a transformer from him. So really cool stuff in lots of different places. Some MPC, I did see some MPC, but like I said, I didn't actually, study or go through enough to see it. And that's the one place I'd like to spend some time next time. As well as I think I went with a list of a lot of shit. I had saved up money all year to buy stuff. So I went with a big list of stuff I wanted to get. And I went shopping and I bought it all, right? Next time I'm going to have a much smaller list, much smaller budget. So it's going to be more about just walking around, hanging out with people, looking at things and finding that unique piece or two that maybe I just have to have, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, the only list that I usually bring with me to those shows is mostly anything that has to do with train parts and such. Like I'm not really, whenever I go to those shows with my dad, I'm not always like writing stuff down that I'm interested in looking for. I may have like at least like one or two things that usually come to mind, but everything else we mostly just try to wing it as we go along all the halls that all of the all the other halls that we visit.
Yeah. So it's interesting you say that because that is something I wish I had thought more about, which is bring a list of the parts that I need. Because there were a bunch of, first of all, tables that were just selling, like especially post-war, like engines for parts, cars for parts, and or just parts they had. And then there were a couple of dealers, right, who were just selling remanufactured or like new parts or whatever you want to call it. And there are silly things like parts for Plasticville buildings that I needed. Then I was like, I don't remember exactly what I need. I wish I had written it down because I need these parts for, in fact, like the post office, the little like sconce plastic lights that hang off the front of the post office had broken off. And I'm like, I need those, and I need them for another building. I couldn't remember. Are they white? Are they red? Or what color? So now I wrote that stuff down. So next time I'll definitely be ready for that. I did pick up traction tires. I was ready for that because it kills me to buy something like whatever traction tires are 50 cents a piece, and then if you buy them from like Hennings or you buy them from Lionel and you pay the shipping on top of that, it's ridiculous, right? Like I can't believe I'm spending all this money for little circles of rubber. So
that is very cool, though.
Yeah.
It's actually, since we're on the topic of Plasticville, I actually did manage to pick up a couple of new pieces for the schoolhouse back here. So me and my dad went into the Blue Hall, and we managed to find the replacement weather vane for the top of the schoolhouse, and we also got a couple of replacement lanterns for the outside of the building.
Yeah. So that like things like that, that's a great point. I need to add that to my list. My church, I need to buy the cross that goes on the top of the church. And that little light that was in your right hand there, that's what I need to get a handful of those different buildings. All right. So let's see. David Stevens talks about the show was good. So this is my first time there. And I have to say, I'm not very good at haggling. And thank God I had a couple of guys with me and they helped me haggle a little bit. And I did get some good prices. It's good deals. So you mentioned the passenger cars, and I'll just pull one off the tracks here. I got these. They're enormous passenger cars, heavy as could be, from and I can never remember the dealer's name now. And they were a 5-pack of MTH Premier passenger cars, and I was able to get them for like what ended up being $50 a car, which I think is a great deal. Like when I'll get it running in a little bit, so you can see, but they're just gorgeous. But then there were other dealers, and I don't want to mention who they were, who didn't want to budge on certain prices,
Right.
or like I was talking to one dealer about an engine, and it was a used engine, and I was like, "Can I take it to the test track?" And he was like, "No, I don't have anybody to go with you. You can't take it to the test track." I'm like, "All right, you won't let me take it to the test track. You're a dealer, right? Like I know you. Like I'm with people who know you. Like, what's your warranty policy on this? Like, will you give me a year if this thing is giving me trouble?" And he's like, "I'll give you 90 days." I'm like, "Dude, I'm buying something that's 15 years old. You got to give me a little more than that, right? Like, if you won't let me go test it, right?" That was my point. So, and he wasn't budging on the price either.
Talk about being strict.
Yeah, I was like, all right. So, and I walked away, right? Like, and I walked away. So, that I'm slightly proud of myself about. But yeah, so David's where is it here? ELW trains mentions. I make notes on your phone prior to the train show. So I did a whole video on this right when I got back from York. I did a quick video on the 5 things like that I learned. Sorry guys, just trying to get my camera right here because I keep moving and I'm out of screen. And I had made a list, and one of the things I had done was made a detailed list of the things I wanted in priority order, which helped. But then I put down, like, I went to eBay, I went to train, like, dealer sites, I went to trains.com, like all those places. And I looked up, like, what are the prices that these things are going for online as best I could find, so that I knew whether or not I was getting a good deal at the show. So I did a lot of that work in advance so that I went in there and I was prepared. Like, that's how I budgeted myself too. I was like, I know I want to buy passenger cars, but I know I don't want to spend more than X on passenger cars, because I know I can get them cheaper if I don't need to. And it was really interesting too, because one, and I haven't done a video on it yet. I went there looking for one engine, actually 2, but I could only buy one of the 2. And the one engine I was looking for, I knew Trains and Things had it at a train show I was at about a month or 2 before York. And I wasn't sure it was going to last until York, but I took a shot that it would. And I went to their table right away, and they didn't have it, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. But I knew, having it looked online, I knew I could get it cheap online at another place. So I held off and didn't like go crazy buying another engine, because I was like, I'm going to buy this when I get home. I went home Saturday morning. I ordered it online and had it like Tuesday, Wednesday the next week. So
very cool.
Yeah, definitely an interesting experience though, York. A lot of walking, man. A lot of walking. Put in the miles, I got to tell you, and the hours. So I know you talked about your drive was far, and you and I were texting when you were on your way with your father. Like, you guys left early. I want to say it was like 8 o'clock. You texted me that you were on your way, or maybe even a little earlier than that. And
it could have been 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. And I left my house at 6 o'clock in the morning to get there for 8 o'clock. No, to get there for 9 o'clock when the doors open, because it's about 2 hours and 45 minutes from there where I am. So, and and I don't know about you, I got home at like 8:30 that night. I was exhausted. That was a long day. So
it sure was.
And yeah,
like you said, you do really get a lot of exercise when you're walking around the whole facility.
Yeah, because it's not just a walking, right? Like it's not just the normal train show walking in the buildings, right? Because you have to walk between those buildings, and some of them are pretty far apart.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, the fun part is walking through the parking lot, and there was a lot of cool looking cars, some interesting cars, and some cool cars in the parking lot, which was
Yeah,
nice.
that is
Yeah,
true. I will definitely agree with you on that one.
yeah. All right, hey, Rose Jewel Railroads joined us. How you doing? Welcome.
What's going on, guys?
Nice. So let me hear. I watched the video of the engine that I know you and I were texting on the side about the engine you were looking for at York that you found.
Yes.
And if you guys have not seen that, you got to go back and watch Mike's video on that. It's awesome. The unboxing is beyond what I expected for that engine. Really cool.
Glad
But
to hear
like,
it.
tell me the story. Like, how did you find it? Like, was it the first one you saw? Did you like walk by it and then decide to go back? And like, did you have to haggle or anything like that to get the price you wanted?
Well, actually, it was when me and my dad were in the, I believe it was this the Silver Hall. We actually stumbled upon it a couple of months before when we were at the April show. So I knew when we were going to the October show this year, I had a funny feeling that they were going to have that engine again. And I was kind of thinking to myself, I have a Lionel post-war celebration series 773 Hudson, but even though that they got the the electronic smoke unit fixed, I wasn't really too satisfied with the sound system they replaced it with.
Mm-hmm.
And, the locomotive itself has kind of seen better days over the past couple of years that I had it. So I figured this was definitely the right time to buy another Hudson locomotive. And when we went back to the same booth that it was displayed on at the October show this year, it was, I won't mention the price, but it was actually at the price range that I was, really hoping that it would be. So me and my dad kind of negotiated with the guy, and he was nice enough to take $30 off of the whole thing. And it came with the engine, it came with the box, it came with the royal blue packaging, it even
Yeah.
came with the blueprints. And I'm also really satisfied. Well, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm really glad that it did not come with a display case, because I don't really have any use for another display case in my household, because I can already afford like two display cases. I have the display case for the 2332 Century Club GG1, and then I also have the one for the Abraham Lincoln Special, which is painted for the B&O Railway.
Nice. So, all right. What does that engine have? All right. First of all, tell everybody what engine it is. We're talking about it. We mentioned exactly which one it is.
Okay, so I actually have it here on the table right behind me here. Let me just see if I can move my chair out of the way. So what we have here on the layout here is the post-war Century Club 773 Hudson, made around the year 2000. Now, this was one of the last Lionel Hudson locomotives made in the United States of America. It comes with the almost exact same tooling as the original 773, and there's somewhat of a callback to the 1964 model, which I'll get back to in just a moment. But the way to identify a post-war Celebration Series locomotive, if we hold it up real close to the camera here, we can see it's got the golden bell and whistle decoration. Now, it also does feature the bright white 773 number board on the cab here, which is somewhat reminiscent of the 1964 model, like I mentioned. And here we have the
really
front of it.
That is really pretty. That is really pretty. Now, does that have it has TMCC or it does not?
It does have TNCC, yes.
Does it have Odyssey too, or speed control and everything?
So basically, when this engine was made around the year 2000, they didn't have like Odyssey or Legacy out just yet. So it's basically all TMCC.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because that's one of the things I have. I picked up we talked about this a bunch. I've got videos on it. The red Hudson from Train World. They did that MTH custom run earlier this year.
The pacemaker.
Yeah, the pacemaker. But I'm like, now that I got it, I'm like, I really want a black one too. And I'm like, I'm toying around. I got no budget for it, but I'm toying around with at some point picking up, a used, probably not MTH, but a Lionel Hudson. And I'm thinking like, I'll find a old TMCC one somewhere that I can pick up someday. That'll be the plan. Hey, there's Datified. Hey, how you doing?
What's going
Welcome.
on, Datafied? And also another favorite feature on the engine that I really love here is the little smiling handrail in the front of the boiler. It kind of makes it look a little reminiscent of the original Lionel 700E from 1990.
Yeah. Yeah, Datafied's talking about the new software. Yeah, it's funny. We discovered this software when we were trying to do or set up the live stream with Ray because YouTube limits you to just 2 people. So we discovered this software to get all 3 of us on. So it is really good. And I forgot to use it when I did my live stream this past weekend. And I totally screwed up that. I had the vertical screen going and everything in that thing. So yeah, I will. I'm planning on trying to do one next Tuesday, another live stream next Tuesday, because we hit 1,000 subscribers on my channel. So I'm going to do a live stream with a giveaway that will come out around that same time. So everybody stay tuned for that one.
That was also going to be
Mike. We lost your video.
Well, actually, I just had to turn the camera off for a minute because I got to charge my phone real quick. But also, that was going to be my next subject, because if you guys haven't checked out Art's channel here, he just reached the milestone of 1,000. I don't know, I can't even speak today. He just reached the milestone of 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys haven't checked out, just
yeah, man, I just crossed 1,000, and it happened. So my kids were off from school. We decided to do a live stream on Saturday night, and we were at like 984 when we started the live stream, and we got all the way up to 103 or 5 by the end of the live stream. It was awesome, totally unexpected. So yeah, thank you, appreciate it. So yeah, I've got a couple. I've already got one box car that I'm going to use for a giveaway, and I'm going to try to go to a store this weekend while I'm down in Cape May. I'm going to visit. When we go to Cape May, we stop in Wildwood on the way back, and there's a hobby store there. And now I'm forgetting the name of the hobby store. Damn it! All right, I got to look it up. But anyway, there's a hobby store right there in Wildwood that we go by. So I plan on stopping there and trying to pick up another box car. So we'll have 2 box cars, hopefully. And my plan is to do some sort of a giveaway. I got to figure out what the topic is. I haven't figured that out yet.
Nice. Now, from what I can recall, you actually won the little contest that the Secondhand Overland was doing on his channel, right?
I didn't realize Dell was on. What's going on, Dell? He's got it. Holly Beach Hobbies. And yes, so I won Datafied's contest. Here it is. Back here on my my layout. Let me see if I can get it centered on the screen here. His Datafied Secondhand Overland Railway boxcar.
Oh boy!
And I gotta be honest,
I
mentioned this on the live stream on Saturday night. These little stickers that he had made, and I'll get really close so you guys can see it.
I am so jealous right now.
It really looks like it, like the way he placed it so nicely over the number there. It looks like it belongs on the car. It really does. And he put one on the box too, so that when I go to box it up someday, if I have to, I'll know exactly what box it goes in. And then there was a bonus inside. He included a bunch of the, can't get them out. A bunch of the now I'm making a mess. A bunch of the pumpkins from the video that we had to count. So it was really cool.
I seriously thought those were M&Ms for a moment there.
Yeah, little pumpkins. There's like yellow, orange. I thought there were some maroon ones. Yeah, they're all stuck in here, but yeah. So it's awesome. I have it on the layout. Stick it back here right away.
And even though I didn't really win anything from his contest, he was really nice enough to send me my packaging here, which let me just see if I can turn my camera around. Oop, there we go. All right, there we are.
All right, so Stephen had to leave, so thanks, Steve.
This is what came in the mail yesterday.
Oh yeah, you got your Datafied stickers. Nice. Yeah, my kids love them too. They have them up on the counter. They've thrown them on some like books and stuff like that. All right, so let's see. Rose Jewel just got a NYC 3444 set, a 2171W from 1950. The original owner, he was 84 years old. Clean. You just that's great. So it's in good shape. I'm guessing you just got to clean it up, service it, do the usual oil and grease stuff, right? That'd be great. That's really cool.
Very neato.
It's great when you could buy something from somebody who's the original owner and have had it their whole life. So just fixing one of my pets.
Let me just go throw that comment up on the screen over here for a minute. Thanks for stopping by, Dave. Hope to see you again real soon. So as for my stickers, I think I'm going to save these for a very special occasion because I'm still trying to figure out if I can get a junk 6464 boxcar shell. I currently haven't gotten to that just yet because I've decided to change plans because I'm still working on my custom-made Railchief74 F3 shell that I picked up at York this year. So I'm going to hold off on that for a little while until I get the F3 shell all done.
Yeah, and that's funny you say that because I was going to ask. So I know you've got some stuff. I saw you put up. Wait, let me just catch up on these. Yeah, the batter boxes. All right. Can't complain. From 1950, if the boxes aren't battered, you're going to pay through the nose for it. So, who cares about a little bit of a bent box here and there? It means it was loved. But yeah, you just did the video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. The milk car. You finished the restoration of your milk car, right? And was there one other video you did where you did like a project on something, or am I remembering wrong? I thought I saw another one recently pop on your channel, but maybe I'm wrong. But any other new projects or anything planned?
So like you mentioned, I already finished up with the restoration of the 3472 milk car. And then for my other video, I think the one you're referring to is the Southern Railway caboose that I worked on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. That's the one I'm thinking of too. Yeah. I have to catch up. Yeah. So I've decided to start a couple of projects myself. I am going to the Greenberg show, not this weekend, but next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend is the Greenberg show in Edison, New Jersey. So I'll be there. And if you guys are going to be around, Dell or whatever, let me know if you guys are going. Well, I'll text you on the side or whatever. But I'm going to try to catch up with a bunch of people there. I'll have my two boys, so they might slow me down a little bit. But my plan is there's two things I'm looking for there that I've decided I want to take on some attempted projects. I'm going to try my hand at Woodland Scenics water, the water effects and things like that. So and the reason why is I have one of those old like plastic filled ponds that my father gave me. It's like the green pond with the brown bridge that goes over it. I think everybody has one of those when they were a kid. My father gave it to me. It's part of all the stuff he passed down. And I want to try to I don't want to ruin it by putting water in that. So I'm going to see if I can get another pond or something there to try out the water inside, just because my layout doesn't have any ground cover or anything like that. So I can't make a water feature in it. And then my wife is a big fan of Dairy Queen. And then I considered buying the MTH Dairy Queen. I've seen a couple online, but the price is pretty high and it won't fit on my layout. So what I'm thinking about trying to do is get an old plastic built Frosty bar. I have one back there, but see if I can get another one and try to turn that into a Dairy Queen. Those are my two projects I'm gonna try. Yeah, but then because there are a couple things I'm thinking about because I am working on potentially expanding my layout over here behind the camera. I think I talked about this on Saturday night. I did a YouTube poll on that. But I think I'm going to come back. I'm going to take this outside loop and extend it around and make the run a little bit longer behind the camera here. And if I do that, I'm going to have room for some new buildings. So I'm trying to think of what I could put over there. That's some ideas I have. Put a Dairy Queen over there, and I might do a Stuckey's. I might buy a Woodland Scenics building and turn it into a Stuckey's.
Nice.
Wait, so do you know what a Stuckey's is? You live down in Delaware now, right? Like, aren't there Stuckey's down there somewhere?
You really got me. That's actually the first time I ever heard of that before.
So they're like they used to be much bigger back in the day, but they're like a roadside I don't know what the best way to describe it is. Like kind of like a truck stop kind of thing idea, but the idea is like it's got they're famous for like their snacks, but they got lots of toys and other little crap for kids, and then obviously gas and food and all that kind of stuff. And my wife grew up driving back and forth to Florida, and they used to stop at Stuckey's all the time. And now when we go on road trips, we stop at Stuckey's. And so I'm like, I want to build a Stuckey's on the layout. Those are the two things I want to do.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. We got a few other people who joined in. It looks like. Nice. Welcome, guys.
What's going on, Slag Cat?
Yeah, Stuckey's is mainly down south. Yeah. So I think there was one I used to pass, and I cannot remember the road. When we used to drive to the Outer Banks, and I live in Jersey, so we would drive down, and then go over the Bay Bridge Tunnel, and like I think that's like Route 10 or something like that, through like I don't know, Delaware, Maryland, something like that. There was a Stuckey's there, and we did have a Stuckey's that we stopped at last summer off of Route 95. After a road trip.
Although I will say that I'm no stranger to Dairy Queen, though, because I actually do got a story for you, not just you, but a lot of you guys who are watching at home. Me and my brother used to live. We used to live in the Big Top when we were younger, because my grandmother always loved to spoil us a whole lot when we were coming home from school. And Dairy Queen was definitely one of our main locations that we always loved to hang out at.
Yeah, Dairy Queen's great. I don't eat it that much because I'm trying to, not gain too much weight. Mm-hmm. But it is great to eat. It is great. My wife loves it. So every once in a while, it's a nice treat for her. I get her Dairy Queen. There's one near us, and it's like it closes. They go down south for the winter, so it closes like February to April, and it's like those few months. What I do is I literally the day before they close, I will go there and I'll buy like 4 or 5 of her not McFlurries, her Blizzards that she likes, and I put them in the freezer for that time period while they're closed.
There you go.
Some brownie points.
That's a really great life hack for you guys who are still watching us.
Happy wife, happy life, right? Happy wife, more trains.
That is true. You scratch her back, she'll scratch yours.
That's right. That's right. I know. That's why that was the big negotiation going on was behind the camera where I want to expand my layout is the treadmill. And I'm like, I don't want to get rid of the treadmill, but I had negotiated with her that I will move the treadmill to another location that's still usable if I could take that space. But she told me at that point, she's like, you're not taking over the whole basement. I'm like, no, not until the kids moved off to college. And she's like, what? So she didn't realize that I was going to take over the basement someday when the kids leave.
That time will definitely be there.
Passenger cars passing now. These passenger cars are just awesome. And I've already put in the request to my mother-in-law, who gets me my little seated passengers for Christmas. Hopefully she'll come up with a couple of packages and I'll fill them in. This actual car here is a sleeper car. It has beds in it and everything.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm going to have to get like those, what is it, Artista little people who actually have like sleeping people. I'm going to buy a few of those and stick them in there.
Oh, that's going to look really nice. It's going to look really cool.
Yeah, and then up top here, when it comes around, I bought one of the new, it was at Stockyard Express. I bought one of the new MTH Woodside cabooses. And I don't know if anybody else has picked up one of those, but I have to say, it was a pain in the ass. It kept derailing. Anytime it went around a curve, it would derail. And I ended up finding online that there's and I was like, I kept playing around with it. The contact roller on the bottom is really stiff, and it actually, what I noticed is when it hits certain points of the track, the roller was lifting the wheels, the flange of the wheel above the track, and then causing it to derail. And you actually have to I have to get in there and like bend the wires and bend it so that it relieves some of the stress on the roller, so that it springs a little easier. So if you guys have any of those new box cars, that's one of the things. New cabooses. That's one of the things to pay attention for. Let's see. The second well car coming up here That one right there, that's from York. I got that to match the one in front of it. I got this car was an impulse buy. It's a stock car. And then that's the caboose that I was talking about. I know it doesn't match the modern freight, but I like running it. So that yellow Union Pacific and this green New York Central stock cars were in a box, just sitting like on a table outside of Grisbowski's, and they were $20. And we walked by this booth a bunch of times, and I just couldn't resist picking them up. They looked good, so I ended up picking them up, $20 each. And it took me a while to find them online, but they are Weaver boxcars. I didn't realize that. We thought they were K-Line when I was buying them, but they ended up being Weavers. And they're really nice cars. So doors don't open. That's the only thing.
They do look a little bit. They do a little, somewhat look a little like K-Line, like you mentioned. You asked me.
They did, and that's why I was like, at the point for $20, there's lots of add-on detail and everything to them. I was like, they're great. Let's just go with it. And especially that yellow one that's running around up top there, really it matches the new Lionel Vision Line stock cars that came out. So it now looks like I mean not perfectly, but it looks great next to them. So I'm really excited about that. And I got the aux tender too. That's coming around again on the big boy. So do you have an aux tender for your big boy? Or are you on the lookout for one of those?
Maybe at some point down the road, but me and my dad are just kind of like, laying loose for the next couple of months because, we spent a whole lot of money when we were at York this October. We're just kind of like, conked out over the whole experience.
Yes, agree. No, it does take some time to budget and save up money. Now, the one thing I was going to say is, I have a Line Master Big Boy. For you guys aren't familiar, I have 048 curves, so I have a Line Master Big Boy, not a scale one. I got the Rail King aux tender, not a full size one, and it matches good. The size matches much better. The full size one would have looked too big for the Line Master. So that would be my only recommendation if you get to that point where you want to get one to maybe look at the Rail King one. Plus, you'll save a little money that way.
Yeah, you will. Also, not trying to get back to the subject of Grisbowski's real quick, but I noticed that Ray was definitely dressed up for the occasion that day.
I can't tell you. So we spent, I don't know, a bunch of time walking back and forth, through the hall, like I said, and ended up at Grisbowski's a bunch of times. And there was probably, I don't know, I'm going to guess 6 times that people asked Ray if he worked there because he was wearing the Grisbowski's t-shirt. It was fantastic. It was hysterical. So.
Plus, he also had that really nice looking Lionel. What was it, like a bar table or something that he showed on his video? So I thought that was really neat too.
Yes, I put in. I don't know if my wife is probably not watching, but I put in a request for Christmas for that to be my Christmas present to get one of those tables. We'll have to see. I don't know.
That's going to be a really big gift if she does find one.
Well, I told her, I sent her the link. So I'm like, here you go. Just get this one right here. Get my New York Central rolling doing that.
So for those of you guys who are tuning in now, even though Ray couldn't really join us tonight, I'm still going to, put out his profile picture and thumbnail anyway, just for the heck of it. Because I know a lot of us had a really great time the last time we were doing these live streams on StreamYard.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. I just want to give you a heads up. I got like maybe 15, 20 minutes left, and then I'm going to have to drop out. Okay. That's why I kind of started stuff running in the background here.
I'm going to go ahead and start up my stuff here too.
Yeah.
So I have to, I also got to get up a little bit earlier tomorrow. Not going to mention why, but let's just say I have some stuff to do tomorrow morning.
Nice. No, that's great. Good. It is a Wednesday, man. It's not a Saturday where you can stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning streaming trains.
Nope. No, it isn't.
All right. So it was 60 degrees in Wisconsin the other day. Jesus. I think it's supposed to be 60 here tomorrow, but I feel like 60 in November doesn't feel like 60, especially
no, it doesn't. Especially down here. I mean, considering that we live, closer to the beaches down here, the weather conditions down here in Delaware are extremely different than where, if you're in Jersey or Wisconsin or Milwaukee or whatever, it's not like, it's not like no matter where you go, the weather conditions are always going to be the same, no matter where you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree.
And finally, before we go ahead and apply power to the layout here, I just wanted to show you guys the tender real quick. Again, it's not really a scale tender, but the one thing I really love about this tender that comes with the locomotive is that it really does complement the size with the, let's say if you might have like the Irvington car set to run alongside the 773. Well, the scale size of the tender really complements those cars very well. It's almost like having like a 490 Blue Comet. You wouldn't really run the 490 with the passenger because the engine is big, size wise. So if you might have like a, what was it, a 390 Blue Comet? Did I just say 390 already? In case, if I did say 390, I meant to say 400. So if you had like the 400E Blue Comet, you'll realize that the engine is too big for the cars. But if you have the 390, then the size of it will just match up with the passenger cars just beautifully.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, these passenger cars. It's a good point. Like these passenger cars are the max size I could probably get for my layout, and there would be the max size I would get for the engines I have. The deal was too good, and they fit, so that's why I got them. In fact, they're rated for 042, but I run 048, and I don't think I would run them on 042. They're really small. I may try them on my upper loop as 042. I may try them there, but oh, so ELW trains had to take off. Thanks for watching, and thanks for hanging in.
See you around the ELW.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's like, getting the passenger cars, like, to me, it's not about having scale and all that kind of stuff. I want the stuff to look nice and to kind of line up nice. And in fact, I bought Rail King. They're up top here. You can't see them but on my shelves, but I bought Rail King New York Central passenger cars that I run with my scale, both legacy engine and my scale MTH, that pacemaker Hudson. And they look great. And that's what honestly, I don't give a crap. No, I enjoy it. As long as I like the way it looks, that's how I enjoy it. So
do I.
Yeah. All right. What do you got here? Got anybody else? No, that was our last comment. No other comments in there. What do we got? 13 watching. All right, good. Come on, guys. No likes in there. Let's get some likes. Smash that like button, guys.
Make sure to smash it hard when you get the chance.
Yeah. So Too Many Hobbies talks about the Rail King line. I have to say I agree. The passenger cars I got. Let me grab one. I can get one without making a mess here. I got these last year. This was my birthday Christmas present for my wife last year. I got a set of 6 of these. And my mother-in-law, I think I mentioned, my mother-in-law got me the people that I added inside. And they're like really nice. I know they need to be cleaned, but they have the rubber at the end of them. Lots of little metal handrail right there. I don't know if you can see that. There's like a metal handrail. Good finished interior, LED lights. And you're right. The quality and the detail is really nice on them. I'm not going to try to stick that back up there. I haven't bought a Rail King engine though, so I don't know if anybody else has a Rail King locomotive, and that they have comments on the quality of those.
I mostly have a lot of the older Rail King engines, such as the ones that were made for Proto Sounds 1 and Proto Sounds 2. I do have some Proto Sounds 3 engines as well, but it's a very small amount of those, type engines that I have.
Yeah. All right, so Too Many Hobbies, Jeremy is. All right, you're doing a live stream 6 or 7 p.m. on Saturday. Wait. So Jeremy, you're in Wisconsin. Is that 6 or 7 p.m. your time? I'm on the East Coast, or is that 6 or 7 East Coast time? All right. So Jeremy has several old Proto 1 Central. All right. So that everybody paying attention. That was 6 or 7 Central time on Saturday. Jeremy will be online. I'll have to tune in. I should be back from my day out on Saturday in time to hopefully see that. Where's the comment? Oh, you're talking about the Proto 1. Yeah, so the Proto 1, those are all conventional, right? My understanding. I don't think there's any control there. All right, so 6 p.m. Eastern. All right, so that's it. You're locked in now, Jeremy. 6 Eastern, 7 Central, I'm guessing. And what's that on the West Coast, man? You got to count on those West Coast folks, too. Hey, where's our boy Ed? Ed's not in here. I don't see Ed joining in from Vegas.
Shocking.
He's always on.
Yeah, usually he and my other friend Ed, the creative mind, are always the number 2 Eds, I guess you could say, that pop on the live stream with us.
Yeah. Yeah, the creative mind, he's got some good stuff he puts together.
I actually just got back from watching a video he made a couple of years ago on how to replace an old knuckle coupler on one of his old NPC Lionel engines.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I have a problem. I don't have problems with the engine couplers. I have problems with rolling stock couplers. Some of the NPC era ones, like they just tend to be a little weaker and they pop open easily. So one of the things I'm thinking about doing for my new extension to my layout that's different from what I have here. So this is all just like painted wood, and I just have everything on top of it. When I do the new part of the layout, I'm thinking about actually doing real scenery work over there and putting real ground covering down. So that'll be my first attempt at that. I'm looking forward to giving that a try. So I'll be definitely looking around for videos of people who have ideas about how to pull that off. Yeah, so Jeremy, all right, so the Proto ones are all conventional. And Slagcat has a split between 2 and 3. So the way I describe 2 versus 3 is like TMCC versus Legacy. Like the way I describe it, right? They're both command control, but the 2 definitely has, if I remember correctly, the batteries or the BCRs. And it just seems like the 3 has more capability. Maybe I'll get you guys up a little higher. You can see more. That fancy tripod here.
There you go. That's better.
There we go. Yeah, so I started up the New York Central over here. One of the other projects I want to do is add some LED lighting inside this caboose too. All right, so Jeremy agrees. All right, so I'm not crazy about my 2s versus 6. The price, though, is actually, a great thing that we talked about Rail King being a good option. If you can get some good stuff, Rail King Proto Sound 2 in like the $200-300 range. I've seen Blue Comets and things like that, Milwaukee Hiawatha's. So yeah, I've almost pulled the trigger on a few of those. Oh, so Mike, I don't know if you saw Datafied's comment. Yeah, there it is.
I think I have the same background of clouds as you have. Just chop it in half.
Yeah. It's funny, every time I look at Datafied's channel, I don't know if you've ever seen Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. He has that same cloud background behind his channel too, that he got at like Hobby Lobby or something like that.
And that's basically what I kind of did with this backdrop here, is that it just felt a little too long. So there was probably like maybe an inch or two that I had to cut off, so that way it better matched the two tables that I had here.
Yeah. Yeah, and doing the backdrop, I did the backdrop, that really adds to the layout, really gives it some good depth. In fact, when I do extend my layout around, my plan is to carry the backdrop all the way around too. And let's see, Black Cat, and then we have two Lionel, one my dad bought, he came back to Korea, and then he gave me a set of Lionel post-war remake passenger set. Yep, Datified, Hobby Lobby, that's it. Yeah, I'm going to Hobby Lobby, I think tomorrow, to try to see what they have there for supplies. Because you can get some good stuff. I have a Christmas layout that's probably not on camera. Christmas layout down there that I'm going to remake this winter. You can get some good stuff at Hobby Lobby for your layout. All right, so a Lionel that he got from his dad got him from when he came back from Korea, and a post-war remake passenger set. Very cool. That's very cool. It's like that. Very cool. Yeah, I have a post-war, I don't call it a set. My father gave me a Santa Fe engine with the B unit, and it has, he had post-war passenger cars with it, but they weren't actually Santa Fe cars. They're just Lionel Lines passenger cars. So I don't actually have a post-war set or post-war passenger cars, really.
So I don't believe that the well, I do believe that the Santa Fe streamlined passenger cars didn't appear until much later.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So they were not part of they never came out as a set in the post-war.
Well, the very first time that Lionel came out with those Lionel line passenger cars was around 1952, because a few years earlier, you know, there was another company, another competitive company called AMT that kind of beat Lionel.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, you're back. You're back. There we go. We lost you for a minute there.
Yeah, my phone just died, so I'm going to be using my iPad for the rest of the video here.
Oh, okay. That was a good switch. That was a good switch.
But anyway, as I was saying, there was a competitive company called AMT, which came out with their own set of aluminum passenger cars a few years earlier. So they kind of beat Lionel to the punch, and Lionel got the memo. So they decided to go head-to-head with AMT and come out with their version of the aluminum passenger cars.
Oh, cool. That's cool. All right, so David Master saying, yeah, Nick's Crossing. I haven't watched this video yet. Nick does some great videos about how to upgrade and work on your engines. He does some really good stuff, and he's really, I love how he's so neat with his wiring and everything. It's really great. But how to upgrade to a Proto 3 board. Yeah, that's, so for me, the biggest challenge I have right now is I don't have a DCS system. I only have the simple little remote commander. So once I get a DCS system, I think I'm going to mess around in MTH a little more. But right now, I only have two MTH engines, and I'm just holding off until I get hopefully the full system comes out. I don't know. I'm hearing potentially the end of this year, November, December. We'll see.
And what are your thoughts on the new Cab 3 system that Lionel's coming out with?
Oh, man, I got that thing. I'm ready. I'm on pre-order. I'm counting the days for that to come through. Look, so I went right out and was lucky enough to find a brand new 993, which is not the legacy set, but which is just the extra controller. The day or two after Lionel announced the base 3. So I have a controller, but I have no problem using my phone to control the trains either. And everything I've seen, makes it look like it's going to be seamless. So like, I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be great. I think it's great for the hobby because it gives them the option of using a phone, using a tablet, or a controller. But it also, the platform gives Lionel a lot more flexibility when it comes to upgrading what they, what they can put into engines, how often they can update the software. Um, it allows for two-way communication to the engines, right? That was something that's been missing. So I think it's a real step forward. I think it's going to be pretty impressive when it comes out. The problem is, it's going to be May before we get them in our hands. It's going to be May next year, right? So when
Yeah,
you
that's
think
right.
about that, that's almost 2.5 years from the day they were announced. And MTH is worse, right? MTH is over 2 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So MTH, and there's no idea when these things are coming from MTH. At least Lionel kind of that's the one thing I said is Lionel was, I think, a little more transparent. They told you, like, here's what's going on. Okay, it's going to be delayed 6 months. All right, we don't have a date now. We'll get back to you. Like, they were very for MTH. I feel like it's all right. Wait, it's coming next month. All right, wait, it's coming next month. All right, wait, it's coming next month. Like, if you watch the Train World's pre-order date, it just moved from September to October to November. It just keeps going out a month every once in a while. It's kind of a disappointing.
I agree.
Yeah, DCC on O scale is definitely something that's out there, right? Like you're right. There's a couple of videos that Sid and Adamus Trains did on DCC. I just think it's not. It's until somebody like a Lionel, Atlas, MTH adopts it mainstream, you're not going to get there, or another manufacturer. Like you're not going to get there because you're just not going to get enough traction from individuals having the ability to upgrade their engines on their own to DCC.
I'm definitely on board when it comes to that, really.
So that's a great question. So Slagcat said DCS belongs to Atlas. I thought that DCS still belonged to MTH, but that Atlas was licensing it to put in their locomotives. Did they actually sell it to Atlas? Yes. So Radar, I think that's right. You totally could use Blue Nami on Lionel engines are older engines where you can't get aboard. I think you can. I just didn't like. You got to watch Sid's videos. Like, there's a lot to it in order to get it to work. Yeah, Dadify, thank you. Agree. I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you agree with me on that. All right, I'm gonna have to drop in a few minutes. I know your phone died, but I'll keep going for a few more minutes.
I actually might have to drop out a little bit early tonight too, because everything's working. Everything on the layout here was working fine just a few minutes ago. Now I'm trying to get some technical difficulty.
Dude, everything breaks when you're on a live stream. You know the rule. I'm just waiting for my first derailment.
All right, so now my objective here is to try not to run the tie ejector so quickly on the inner loop here because I already have another accessory hooked up. For those of you guys who can see it, I have the 154 flashing highway signal present here on the layout. So I'm basically running the lock-on that it comes with off of a curve section. So it's not very easy to run a train, or to run the lock-on off of a curve section versus straight.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have one of those hooked up on my layout in the back when I first set it up. But when I redid everything and redid the upper loop on my layout, it wouldn't fit anymore. So I took it off. But that's something my father passed down. Those are so cool. But you're right. Those lock-ons, they're a little finicky.
I also did some modification with the town area here. I mean, some of the houses are still kind of pretty much the same, but I wanted to move them down just a little bit because when I was running my Lionel Camelback steamer on the inner loop here. It kept on hitting one of the houses on the side here.
Oh, yeah. Now that's
Yeah.
interesting. I'm surprised the Camelback would hit, right? Because the Camelback has such a small footprint.
And it was running fine like the other day, but I also had to move the inner loop towards the center of the layout here. And then after I did that, the Camelback was starting to the front pilot truck was starting to derail all of a sudden. I was like, oh no, now I got to figure out how to fix that situation. So until I can find out what went wrong, I'm mostly just going to be running some of the smaller motorized units and the switchers on the inner loop here.
Yeah, I love that inner little loop. I mean, I think I said this on one of your live streams I joined a couple of weeks ago. It just it seems so simple, like it's just a circle of 027 track, but it's like it's so entertaining to just watch something whip around on that. Kind of funny.
Sure is. And also with this empty space over here, like I mentioned, I have the signal, already installed on the layout. But before I had it here, I realized that there was something missing, and I really wanted to have like something else here, and not have this big empty space in between the track and the village here. So I thought the 154 would definitely, be a good substitute for that. Even though the accessory itself is out of scale, I'm not really too worried about that. I just kind of thought, I wanted to have like some more lights and some animation on the entire layout as a whole.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's cool. Yeah, I wish I could squeeze mine in my layout, even though it's out of scale. I actually use for my crossings, I bought these little signals off of eBay.
All right, let me just give you guys a little bit of a better idea.
Corey joined us too.
What's going on, Corey?
Hey, Corey.
Glad to have you on the stream tonight, man. All right, so let me give you guys a little bit of a nighttime running session here, considering I don't really have a whole lot of them on a lot of these, live streams that I do.
All right, I'll try to do the same here. Oh, you're going full night mode, huh? Okay. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it. Yeah, let me see if I can move you guys maybe to a different spot. Yeah, I just turned on some of the track lighting I have over my table to turn on some lights. Thanks for the help. Appreciate it. Yeah, Mike, I think I gotta sign off now.
All right. I actually got to sign off myself because,
Cool.
like I mentioned, I got to get up a little bit earlier tomorrow morning. And then I also got to see if I can clean Ozzy's ears. I know he's not going to be really too happy with me when it comes to that, but
Nice.
yeah, come here, Ozzy.
All right. So thank you guys. I really appreciate everybody joining in. Really appreciate it.
Take care, Art.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
Bye, Ozzy. Good boy. I know, you're trying to sleep. Good boy, buddy. Make sure you guys say hi to Ozzy real quick here before we go ahead and wrap up the video here, alright? Because I know my bud really likes to make his cameos throughout my live streams. Good boy. Say hi, everybody. Okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream here tonight. But I just wanted to thank you all for tuning in once again. And I also wanted to thank Art for joining me here on the live stream like we always do. And hope to see you all next week. Have a good one, guys.